Whether it's high art or beautiful trash, the AV Club explores the best of film, TV, music, books, and games. Inventory is our obsessively specific pop culture list.
Welcome to Inventory. Today we're going to be talking about ridiculous horror movie adversaries, the kind that are obviously cheap and more laughable than frightening. Our inventory was directly inspired by a movie called Amityville 4: The Evil Escapes. It was the fourth movie in the franchise, which was started with the book in 1977, which was supposedly a true story. We're kind of assuming that Amityville 4 was not based on a true story because it stars an evil lamp. Apparently it has really random powers, like draw flies to itself, melt the phone of somebody who's talking about it, and put the family pet bird into a toaster oven.
Oh, Mom.
Oh. Unplugging it would not do the trick.
Unplugging it actually makes things worse. Eventually, given that it's an inanimate object, they defeat the thing by throwing it out a window. At that point, it's somebody else's problem, right? Scott, you also had a horror movie with a ridiculous inanimate object.
Yes, I do. It's called Deathbed, the bed that eats. It's from 1977. It was made for 30,000 bucks, at least 1,000 or two of which made it onto the screen. The title says it all, really. You lie down on the bed.
At least this bed seems comfortable.
And the bed eats you. That is what it is, a deathbed, after all. But there are a few things you need to know about the deathbed. Number one, you need to find the deathbed. And the deathbed is located on this sort of crumbling estate that nobody's even visited in 10 years. It's hidden away in this little room. But let's say you are a weary traveler or sort of a horny type person.
Okay, come on, let's go.
Who finds this little room, right? Okay, you found it.
Hey, look at this.
Step two, there's this bed, and the bed seduces you with its velvety charms. 3, the victim is disrobed, surrounded by sort of a yellowy goo, and sort of drawn into this acid-filled bath that dissolves their flesh. It's a death both gruesome and easily avoidable. The bed makes itself after killing people. Then it falls asleep and snores, leaving viewers with the metaphysical paradox of wondering how a bed sleeps on itself.
Sleep bed.
The bed that sleeps.
So Keith, you have another one where people sort of just have to stumble upon it in some rural area, is that right?
Yeah, there's a film called Rock and Roll Nightmare from 1986. It opens with a woman preparing breakfast for her kids, at which point some combination of the stove and refrigerator attack her and kill her. The rest of the film takes place 10 years later when a rock band called Tritons comes to record their album in the luxurious isolation of the farmhouse.
Let's tune our weapons.
What's the sound moving through the ages? What's the sound driving over pages? Rock!
And then these puppets show up that kind of look like tiny evil penises. Their girlfriends get turned into demons, usually after taking their tops off.
Ready.
Ultimately, the big bad guy, Satan himself, shows up in the form of a really cheap puppet. But here's where the film kind of turns. The lead of the rock band
In the intercessor.
is actually a force for good. He's played by John Michael Thor, and John Michael Thor is Canada's foremost bodybuilder slash heavy metal god. The climactic sequence involves Thor fighting the giant puppet, who has a few tools in his arsenal in the form of like these kind of sticky starfish creatures. Director John Fasano the next year made a film called Black Roses, which is kind of the inverse of this, and it's about an evil rock band that turns people into demons.
Clearly they need a conjoined sequel. It's just Rock Band on Rock Band.
Yeah, that's See, I'd watch that. If you put all the elements from the 3 movies we talked about together, it would actually probably be a little scary, right?
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say no.
So am I.
For more ridiculous horror movie adversaries, visit avclub.com.